Mr. Chairman, I have no further speakers, so I'm prepared to close.
The gentleman is recognized.
Let me just say a few points. Where did this? We all condemn Khashoggi. That is not the situation. I've condemned him publicly, very strongly. What happened with the Saudis killing Khashoggi, executing him. We're talking about the situation in Yemen. And who started this humanitarian crisis in the first place? The Houthis tried to take over the Yemen government. The Houthis backed by Iran. This is about Iran, geopolitics of Iran, Houthis in Yemen, Iran and the Shia Crescent in Iraq and Syria, and a direct threat to Israel. The largest state sponsor of terror, Iran, that is a mortal sworn enemy to Israel as they chant death to Israel, death to America. So let's put this all in proper context of what we're really talking about here. Are we defending Iran and the Houthis here today? So I'd like to close by putting two documents in the record. The first is a letter sent by the Department of Defense, Office of General Counsel, stating that DOD opposes the resolution because the resolution's fundamental premise is flawed, because the United States support to the Saudi-led coalition, quote, does not involve any introduction of U.S. forces into hostilities. Are we going to go around and second-guess every security cooperation agreement we have with 117 countries, including Israel and NATO and other partners? And the second is a statement of the administration's policy on this point. And Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent that these documents be entered into the record. Mr. Chairman, I ask that these be entered by unanimous consent.
Thank you. Gentleman's request will be covered by General Leaf.
Gentleman's recognized. Okay. Let me say this, too. I'm deeply troubled by the one-sided nature of this resolution. And what is missing from this resolution, what I just stated earlier, and that is Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, and the Houthis' benefactor. By staying silent on Iran and by not condemning the Houthis in this resolution, it sends a green light to the Houthis and to their Iranian backers to press on. This resolution is counterproductive also to the efforts that are ongoing right now to negotiate peace in Yemen between the Houthi rebels and the government of Yemen Republic. And as we speak, the UN envoy is working with the full support of the United States to negotiate a political resolution to this conflict. Getting to these talks has required placing substantial pressure on all parties involved. The UN is encouraging the Houthis to uphold these agreements and to make further with the Yemenese government and the Saudi-led coalition. But this resolution might cut the UN efforts off at its knees. The Democrats can't tell us specifically what assistance this resolution cuts off, but what I can say for sure is that if what this resolution says to the Houthis and to Iran is you've got a green light. Keep going on. You can gain more ground and cause more destruction and humanitarian crisis and cause more problems for Israel and our Saudi ally. Advancing this pro-Houthi, pro-Iran, anti-Israel resolution does not help to end this war in Yemen. It only emboldens the rebels and Iran who violently overthrew Yemen's government and the radical regime that backs them, Iran. So I would say, Mr. Chairman, in closing, this resolution is not only a dangerous precedent legally, it violates the construction of the War Powers Act, but it is damaging and very bad policy, and I urge my colleagues to vote against it. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman